Okay, hey everybody! How's everybody doing today? Glad you could join me. Another episode, or another stream, of Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth, No Phoenix Wright, Hey Palma, hey Suika, hey guys. Hey Gecko, my man. Hi everybody. Glad to have you here. So, last time, let's remember, it's been a couple of days since I streamed. Oh, hey Chairs! Look at you here, so early. It's good to have you, man. Oh, by the way, Suika and Chairs, I finally finished today, the Danganronpa series. Like the final episode, the Hope arc, Hope's Side Hope, or whatever you want to call it. And, gotta say that I enjoyed it. It was full of despair. The ending not as good as the entire series, I'd say, because they take so long to build up the whole despair thing. Like you get these little bits of hope in there. It's more despair, like your waifu dies, your fucking third and fourth waifu die. So I felt like it would have been better if they just had more time for the final episode. If, like, instead of a 20-minute special, it would have been like an hour-and-a-half movie, even like, you know, straight to DVD or whatever. But like if they, or even an hour long. But if they just had more time to like build it up, because the last episode felt like really concentrated with a lot. Yeah, I sort of agree, Suika. I mean, I still enjoyed because I really wanted it to have a good ending. And I enjoyed like all my characters being alive and seeing them, because I've been waiting this entire series to see, like, you know, the guys from the second game, and they finally showed up and it was fun. I wish there was like more Byakuya and shit like that, more Togami. Yeah, Suika, I agree. That was lame. I didn't like that they did that. If you kill someone, keep them dead. But it was way better. I don't know. It had its ups and downs. All in all, it worked pretty well. I think if they didn't, it just felt that the very last episode, the Hope side, was just so like concentrated with like good stuff that just happened too fast. And if they had like an hour to actually build it, the pacing was just very wrong. If they had an hour to like, or an hour and a half to pace it right, it would have been way better. But all in all, in the end of things, I'm happy. Like I can now sleep at night knowing that the world is that their world is in a better place. And that good beat evil. So that's it. That's. I mean, I'd love to discuss about it more, but we got a stream to do. But I enjoyed it, and I'm kind of debating right now if it's worth. The ending kind of killed it. I agree, but I'm kind of debating if it's worth like forcing my friends to play through the all everything just for the story. Because it is a pretty good story. If they could just make a fan edit that keeps all the dead people dead and shit, and that stuff has consequence, would have been better. But the message was nice and it was a fun ride. I gotta say, I enjoyed it while it lasted. So thanks for that, guys. Anyhow, back to the game. So we just started the third case last stream, where basically we're in the past. We're 10 years ago. A flashback, and it was a bit weird. You control Hajime Kedge? Really? I thought it was like a whole new cast. Oh, appearance-wise. I thought you meant like a character. Yeah, well, it's an anime game. It's gonna be different. We'll see. I don't have high hopes for it. I'm not like, you know, really on my edge of the edge of my seat waiting for it to come out. But if it's gonna come out and it's gonna be good, I might play it. We'll see what they're gonna focus on now, because I'm assuming they're not gonna make such a long story, because I just think it's not like a good financial plan. I don't think they made a lot of money off the idea of having a long story arc like that, but we'll see. So what was I gonna say? So we came in and we replaced the prosecutor at the last moment because he was blamed. One of the witnesses in the trial said during the trial that he was the great thief Yadagarasu. And so he was taken away. We came in to replace him, and now we're trying to figure out what's going on. some people have gone missing. We're behind the scenes right now. We haven't started we haven't restarted the trial yet. Paul, we were talking about the entire series up till now, basically. Penitentiary for gifted inmates or some shit like that. Yeah, well, whatever. You know, logic was never a strong point for Danganronpa. It was more, but they somehow made it work. So we'll see. It's worth the benefit of the doubt, I feel. If nothing more. Anyhow, so again, voices. I'm gonna try to do my best Spanish voices for this guy, for fucking white Luke Cage here, and the other girl. What is it? It appears that both a knife and a gun were used as murder weapons. Oh right. Hold on. There was a murder, I think. We're re-meeting everybody. We might get a little round of what's going on. I'm gonna do a little walk around after this dialogue because I don't remember myself exactly what's going on. See, it does. That leads us to our first question of the investigation. Where did the men acquire the weapons? The gun was inside of Faraday's bag. It was a piece of evidence that was presented in the trial earlier today. Darn. That's funny. It was used to kill the Kodopian embassy staff member. But I never heard anything about the knife. Senor L was being held by the police. There's no way he could have brought it in. Which means it's possible that Faraday had the knife on him from the start as well. Could it have been a piece of evidence that had yet to be presented? But then, why doesn't Detective Bad know about it? Wait, what if? It's possible that Mr. Faraday, by the way, is the... If I'm right, he's a prosecutor we replaced as being suspected as the famous great thief Yadagarasu. It's possible that Mr. Faraday brought the knife in under the guise of prosecutorial evidence. Could have then brought it out and attacked Mr. Bell with it. Huh. Maybe you've got a brain in there after all, kid. Ugh. Is he going to treat me like a child forever? It looks like Senor Faraday attacked Senor L first, who then counterattacked. That's the only logical conclusion you can draw from a scene like this. Not yet. I feel that it's much too early to be drawing conclusions already. I must first find conclusive evidence so as to ensure the honor of the Von Karma name. Dude, you're not German, get over it. Anyhow, okay, so this is the crime scene. Oh right, it was a double homicide right here. Oh, I can't go outside right now, can I? We went to knock on the door for the people in here in the defendant lobby, and we found a double murder right here. One of them holding a gun, the other holding a knife. I don't know, maybe it was a murder-suicide, maybe it was just a murder, I don't know. What series are you talking about, Suika? The Ace Attorney, or the new Danganronpa? Anyhow, so we talked to him. Let's look around the room first and see. Let's start by looking at these guys, I think. It looks like Mr. Faraday fell on top of Mr. Bell. Oh, and okay. So Detective Bad thinks that Mr. Faraday attacked Mr. Bell, and then he counterattacked and killed him. But poisonous gas to the gunfight. In later games, really? Well, I gotta say, Suika, that's really the one thing that I felt that was missing the most from the series. Like, it felt a bit too childish and colorful and happy-go-lucky. So if it becomes more dark, that's great. That sounds awesome to me.
At first glance, it seems like they must have killed each other. However,
using logic, the only logical conclusion is, aha!
what was that outburst for?
My detective's instinct just hit me real hard. It was Mr. Rell that fell first, see?
You don't need a detective's instinct for that. It's common sense. But I suppose we won't know much more than that until after I examine the bodies.
Your character is a heroin addict. Yeah, Phoenix Wright falls on some hard times. Has to pay his way through law school. Or maybe he's a kid or something, I don't know.
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny.
Sure. Okay, so starting with the murder weapons, I guess.
Looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding a gun in his right hand.
So he shot Mr. Rell and then fell on top of him while still gripping onto the gun.
I guess that does seem kinda strange, huh? I mean, why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun?
It's not exactly rocket science. Even I know how to pull a trigger. Although I doubt I'll ever need to use one.
I hope I never have to fire a gun either, pal. It sure does look cool to hold a gun in your hands.
It appears that the police's screening procedures need a thorough review. Anyway, I should jot down some notes about the handgun in Mr. Faraday's hand.
Okay. So I got that, now let's look at the knife, which is also weird. He's holding it a bit too tight to be on the ground like that.
Looks like Mr. Rell died with a knife in his hand.
There's some blood stuck on it.
Then he must have used it as a weapon. Yup, no doubt about it.
Really, what about that bag full of blood? Maybe it came from there?
Was Mr. Faraday carrying this on his personage, whatever? Did he bring this as a piece of evidence for the trial? Or did he bring it with a very different intention in mind? I should jot some notes down about it.
Good job, Edgy. Okay, what about this bag of little baggie of blood right there?
Why are there plastic bags scattered all around?
Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal.
I know that much, detective.
You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal?
Normally, I'd be happy when someone compliments me, but when it's this guy... Anyway, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between the two men?
The poison you use makes people's muscles clench. Oh, so that's how you did it. What did you do, Claudric? And did it involve drugs and alcohol? Okay, anything else specifically? What about his left hand right here? Is he holding something? Looks a bit like it.
His hand is all black down here, see? Oh, I wonder what it could be.
One of them? Well, tell me the story, and then I'll try to guess which one, Claude.
If you look closely, the splotching pattern resembles an ink stain.
Okay. Take a look at all the logic pieces.
An ink stain?
Yes, I usually get ink on my own hands when I use my feather pen.
What's my onion on your candy? Did you get it trick-or-treating, backcountry? You spoiler? I can't look at that, Claudia. What's my onion? Well, don't eat too much, because you'll get fat and your teeth will rot.
A feather pen? I've never seen one before. Sure you aren't just making it up, pal?
Oh, it's American candy. Oh, man. It's gotta be pretty good, then.
Mr. Rell's cause of death was from being shot, correct?
You ingested something. Oh, I see. Nothing wrong with you being fat. I guess that's right. And just...
Mr. Wells' cause of death was from being shot, correct?
That's what we think, but it's hard to tell with him lying face down.
Death is bad enough, but it's truly lamentable that someone would try to hide the truth.
Are you sure they were trying to hide something?
Well, yeah, Chairs is right. The being fat does cause health problems.
Can't confirm Mr. Wells' cause of death with his body position like that. Detective Bad, I'd like to examine the bodies in further detail, if possible.
What is this? You're not able to form a theory with them the way they are?
I believe an examination of the bodies is vital to finding the perfect evidence, don't you?
Oh yeah, and we were given the responsibility to examine this case and look at all the evidence by, well, we as both Edgeworth and Francisca. So they're kind of in a competition right now. So we gotta solve this case before Francisca does, to prove ourselves to our German daddy. Time to invade. I suppose you do have a point. Well, hurry up and get on with it. Labby.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh, we've taken enough photos of the scene, sir.
And there you have it.
Do you not approve?
Of course not.
What?
Investigation of the crime scene is the work of a detective, so don't touch a thing. Hey, big fella, turn over the bodies for me, will you?
Oh, okay. Please forgive me, Mr. Faraday, sir.
Fucking hell. Gumshoe, do not get emotionally involved. Remember, you are the detective.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
I won't rest until I've...
Yeah. Nooks and crannies. Okay, so what's all this then? There's a lot to look at. First of all, their faces. Also, this chain, is it worth anything? I can't check it out.
First he killed a Kodopian embassy staff member, then he was murdered himself. This guy wasn't exactly an angel.
Oh,
This guy wasn't exactly an angel, you know.
Oh? What makes you say that?
Well, he's been hauled into the precinct several times for theft and assault, pal. So yeah, he's definitely the type to have committed a murder or two.
Well, he did admit to killing Mr. Dyed Man. This fucking game.
Hey, a good point, pal. I knew my detective's intuition was telling me something.
Detective's intuition?
Yep, do you know about it? It's a special feeling that all
We don't have time for this conversation right now. Let's return to the investigation.
okay, so I got this guy. This knife still does that. Well, this... it looks like a bullet hole, I suppose.
Shot in the chest. You're too late.
It takes some guts to fire a gun in the courthouse. I mean, I've been a detective for a whole week and I still haven't fired a single round yet. And I'm American.
Well, I see more and more things here.
There aren't any burn marks on his clothes. That must mean...
Wait, burn marks?
A round grows very hot as it is discharged from the firearm. Therefore, burn marks are usually left when a shot is fired from point-blank range. Ergo, Mr. Well must have been shot from at least a yard or two away.
Okay, I guess that's something.
You sure know a bunch of neat stuff for your age, pal.
Apparently, this detective has as much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial.
Okay. Now, oh, and the knife, I guess we can look at that again.
Looks like Mr. Faraday was stabbed with this knife that Mr. Well is holding.
Ouch!
What's wrong, detective?
My stomach just started to hurt from thinking about being stabbed.
Just keep your mind on the case, alright?
Okay, so I think that's all we can check with him. Let's look at this.
Mr. Faraday is holding a gun in his right hand.
That's the one Mr. Bell got blown away by, right?
Labby, your answer.
Yes, sir. We found that the ballistic markings do match the gun.
Oh, ballistic markings are,
Are the figurative fingerprints a gun leaves on a bullet when fired. Every gun leaves its own unique ballistic markings. Therefore, by looking at the markings on a bullet, you can tell which gun it came from.
yeah, that's it. Of course I already knew all about that, pal.
Maybe you'd be better off going back to the academy.
Eek! Come on, sir. Cut me some slack, will ya?
So the bullet that was fired from this gun is what felled Mr. Well.
Okay. What's this?
There's something in his breast pocket. It's a fountain pen.
Okay, well that probably has something to do with the ink in his hand, right? You can connect that later.
Hey, you know, I always keep a pencil behind my ear. It's because Detective Bat is always telling me, you should always write your name on everything you own.
Yes, somehow you do strike me as quite a forgetful individual.
Okay. Let's look at this. Check the fingerprints on the gun and the knife, but they're already holding it, so that feels a bit like a waste of time, Cheers.
There's a knife wound in his chest here, see?
I wonder if the wound matches the knife Mr. Will is holding.
Labby,
Yes, sir. Verifying now, sir.
and make it quick.
From the looks of things, one could deduce the knife Mr. Will is holding is what killed Mr. Faraday. Let us now try and understand how the two men died. First, Mr. Faraday took the gun and the knife out from today's trial evidence. Then he aimed the gun at Mr. Bell and fired. However, Mr. Bell managed to grab the knife and counter Mr. Faraday while being shot. Then, the two men fell together where they stood. That is my theory, in any case.
What a crazy way to go.
Still, something about that explanation just doesn't seem right.
Okay.
I believe I now have a firmer grasp on what happened here.
Okay, so we looked at these guys. Anything else we can examine? This plant, maybe?
This decorative plant's foliage is quite nice. It's actually soothing to be around it. Perhaps I should purchase one for my room.
Is that like an Easter egg? Is there an actual plant like that in his room or something? Anything around here can examine?
Looks like this sofa is ready to be disposed of.
It's so soft. I could sleep for all 25 hours of the day on this thing.
If only I could dispose of him.
Oh, that's mean. Well, Edgeworth was kind of an asshole before he got schooled by Phoenix Wright.
There are some plastic bags stacked up on the table. There's a tea set too, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of disturbance.
Cheers. No, spare Gumshoe. He's a nice comic relief. And he can lift the heavy stuff.
Yeah, the table's all neat and tidy.
So it doesn't really seem like there was a huge fight, at least.
Maybe they were super quiet in their scuffle? After all, I didn't hear anything from out in the hallway, you know?
Maybe the plastic bags scattered around the floor are throwing us off.
What's my onion on the rope? You mean the movie, or just a specific rope? The movie, I heard it, I'm assuming the movie, I heard it's a great movie. I want to watch it, haven't yet. That's all. But it's pretty good. And I like Hitchcock. I like most of his movies, or at least most of the stuff I've seen of his. Some of his older stuff I didn't like so much, which is probably why I didn't watch Rope yet. Yes, Chua. Let's look at this. Oh, that's awesome, Chua. Well, whenever, man. I want you guys to enjoy it. I mean, I'd be happy if I'm around, but I want you guys to watch it and enjoy it. Also, which one? Because I suggested a couple. There was Let the Right One In, which I would be really happy to watch again. And also Dead Alive and... forgot the name of the third one. But you know it. It's on the... we talked about it. It's on the list. Anyhow, anytime, dude. I'd be happy to watch it. Dead Alive and... what was the third one? Never mind.
Oh, some plastic bags stacked up on the table. There's a tea set too, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of disturbance.
Yeah, the table's all neat and tidy. Maybe they were super...
You just said that, come on. Okay, what about this bag here? So you got Dead Alive downloaded? Well, I'd love to watch that too. You can go after my stream if you want. Anyone else wants it. Oh yeah, I did Bats. Great movie, I really enjoyed it. Awesome, thanks man. But it's really more about, like, you know, for me it's really more about like people who haven't seen it, they could watch it and enjoy it. That's what it's, well, for me at least. Also nice. Nice one right there. Oh right, you're at work. You're always streaming when I'm sleeping, when I'm asleep. And it's just that time where it's not like, even if I wake up early or if I go to sleep late, I won't watch it. It's always like 5, 6 a.m. for me when you start. So anyhow,
there's some stuff in the bag, pal.
I suppose this bag was Mr. Faraday's bag. It's probably the trial evidence I was supposed to collect from him.
damn, nice one, Claudric.
This is the evidence? I'd better not touch it. I'll leave prints on it.
Do you just not pay attention to anything you do?
Okay, nothing with that, I suppose. What about this TV? My time for what, chairs? Are you gonna kill me next?
Whoa!
Was my onion in possession? I thought it was really weird. I'm sorry, I know you love that movie, but I didn't really like it. I thought it was really weird. I don't really understand. I understand. I like the actress definitely. I think her acting is the best thing about that movie. That subway scene was amazing. It was really good, and she was great in it in general in the movie, and she deserved her awards. But I don't think it was a good movie. I think it was really weird. Time clock wise? What do you mean? Oh, you're asking what time is it for me right now? Right now for me it's 9:45 p.m. I probably recommend it to people who are looking for some really weird shit, and I can understand how it became a cult film. I don't really understand how it got to Cannes though, and how it got like how like serious critics give it good reviews, because I looked a bit into it, and it seemed that it was like at least taken, it had at least like pretty good response from critics, and I don't know. I think just people. I really don't know. I think people were giving it a lot of, were forgiving a lot of its stuff. Wait, no. I think I can, yeah, I can understand how people enjoy it. It's not like one of those movies where I'm looking at it like, holy shit, how could anyone ever think this is good? It just, it suits a specific taste and I can dig it. I mean, I can't dig it, but I can dig the fact that other people dig it. So. What is it, Detective Gumshoe?
My TV at home is so tiny compared to this one, pal.
Then perhaps you should purchase a more normal-sized television like this one.
How are you banned from China, Cheers? What could you possibly do to China?
Ooh, well, let me see here. Wow! This thing is huge! Ugh. And way too noisy.
You are the noisy one, Scruffy. Don't touch it. You'll get your fingerprint all over it.
But I didn't touch it.
Preservation of the crime scene is the foundation of detective work.
The foundation, huh? Sounds like something the rookie here needs to show up on.
Can't even go to Hong Kong? Damn, dude. That sounds like an amazing story. Why does a 13-year-old have such a deep woman's voice? Well, Mario, also good to see you, man. But the short answer is that I can't do a German accent and a high-pitched voice at the same time. I can try, but it's pretty hard for me. But again, her voice can, like the voices here, can change all the time. If you think you got a better idea for any of the characters' voice, just let me know and I'll do my best. Same for any new characters, by the way. So I don't know, the window.
The window's opened, and there's a fresh flowery scent in the air.
Oh, the flowers in the garden down there are so gross and ghastly.
Do you think maybe you could try offering something useful for a change?
Well, at least there's no way someone escaped through this window, pal. They wouldn't wake up and smell the flowers after a fall from the 3rd floor.
Are you willfully ignoring the fact that there are also iron bars on the windows?
Okay, another... So what? Yatagaratsu. Yeah, I know. I know, Mario. It's just took me a while. Took me a bunch of tries to get it right. Especially with the accents, it's a bit confusing. But yeah, thanks, man. Not Stu Su. Oh yeah, Yatagarasu.
Yeah, I guess there's that too. Either way, no one could get through these windows, right?
They thought of everything when they were designing this courthouse. Very nice.
Okay. I think that's everything. I guess we can try to talk to Francisca.
Ah, I see. Did you figure something out?
This is a competition, Miles. And as such, I'd appreciate it if you don't talk to me.
As you wish.
Okay, sure thing. What about this guy?
Detective Bad, do you have any thoughts on the case?
Faraday and Thrall. It looks like they killed each other to me. Although, there are a few things that just don't seem right.
what would they be?
Why don't you try thinking on your own first before you bother me, boy? Hijo. No, hijo? Chico.
Oh, now I've been downgraded to just boy.
Okay, so I guess I don't want to. So let's look at our pieces of logic, see what we can work with here. Neat and tidy table. The set. The tea set and plastic bags on top of the table completely undisturbed. Ink stain, Mr. Faraday. Well, that's easy. The ink stain probably goes with the fountain pen in his pocket. No human can climb through these barred windows. The scent of flowers is in the air. Plastic bags strewn about. I think maybe I could connect these two also. But let's start with the ink stain and the fountain pen. Thank you, Palma. Do you notice how this is the same suit he wore during Turnabout Beginnings? No, actually I didn't. Thanks for pointing that out, man.
That splotch on Mr. Faraday's hand. I wonder if it might be the ink from his fountain pen.
Ooh, let's ask the lab guy.
Detective Gumshoe, I confirm that the substance on Mr. Faraday's hand is the ink from his fountain pen.
I see. Good work. You know, I've always wanted to say that, even if it was just one time in my life.
If Mr. Faraday wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand, I think it's fair to assume he was left-handed.
And the gun was in his right hand, wasn't it?
It appears that Mr. Faraday's pen is very important to our case as well.
Okay, if you say so, pal.
Okay. So get a piece of evidence. And let's see if I can work with a neat and tidy table along with the plastic bags. Let's see. I don't see any of them connecting to the window anyhow. And
there is a very tidy pile of plastic bags on the table. And yet, a portion of them wound up scattered on the floor as well.
what's that? This was going to be Edgeworth's first trial, but because of this incident, the trial never happened. So this actual first trial was Turnabout Beginnings. Oh, I see. That's actually cool. The lore behind Ace Attorney series. I actually really like the characters here, so it's a lot of fun.
It's not likely that the ones on the floor were knocked over during a struggle. In which case, might there not be another explanation as to how they got there?
Another reason?
I believe it's possible that the blood on the outside of the bag is related somehow.
You played the trilogy? No, actually I only played the first one and Trials and Tribulations. Mario. Haven't gone to what's the third one? Was the third one Trials and Tribulations? No, the third one is Justice or is anyhow, I played the first and second one. I don't remember if the third one was Justice for All or Trials and Tribulations. But I played the first two. Not the one with Apollo or I don't know. Or Godot. Or something like that. But I hope I will. I think it's on the poll right now. Actually, I think someone requested on my poll, which is a good opportunity to remind you guys that you can always vote. And oh, third is one. So I didn't play Trials and Tribulations. So reminder that you guys can request games for me to play on the poll and vote for other people's requests, so I can play them sooner rather than later. Link is on my Twitch page.
Eek! Please get that blood away from me, pal.
Detective Gumshoe, whose blood is on this bag?
Hold on. Let me ask the lab guy.
Oh, you spoiled the case? It's okay. I might forget about. I'll try and forget about it until I get there.
All right, please hurry.
It's all good, Mario. Don't worry.
Wait till I get a load of this, pal. It's Mr. Faraday's. Oh, the technician said they didn't find anything else on or in the bag either.
It would appear that this bag is a very important piece of evidence.
Okay, if you say so. I leave it in your hands, pal.
Okay. I think we're done with the investigation, aren't we?
I guess there's not much left to investigate, huh? They really did kill each other.
No, we can't conclude that quite yet. There's still something I find very peculiar here. Which play has been off before the OG trilogy? Well, because it was requested, Mario. I just like to play what people request of me, and this one was on the list. People voted for it. It was top score, and just to make sure, like I googled it before, and it said that this case has no. That happens between the third and fourth games, but that I remember somewhere it said that there are no spoilers for the OG series here. So that's why. So I've said, like, why not? The theory that they simply killed one another is too simplistic in this case. In fact, there's actually a contradiction that shows there is another possibility.
No way, pal. Really?
Where's the list? There's a link on my page. Under, I think, either streaming requests or something like that. I don't remember what the link says exactly, but it's a poll that you can find on my Twitch page below the video. I suppose I will just have to show you the conflict in this crime scene. No interest? Yeah. Okay, so let's deduce. First of all, there's this, the fact that it's in his right hand. And deduce this. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Yeah, that's the list. It's not. I see right now. It's not very updated though. There's a link to a poll on a different website, Mario, with the updated list. But thanks for reminding me. I'll update the list on the page today. I think the title above that list you posted should be a link to the poll. Anyhow, yeah, I think. Well, I should go over everything anyhow. This is from a mentor's reference about KG8. Touch the check button. Could have been embassy staff member. Manny coached and found not guilty. Shadow of Romano group. Oh right, that's Mr. Romano. 10 years ago. No, Chua, it wasn't for you. See you later, Bats. Thanks for sticking around. Chua, I wasn't talking about Save State Heroes. I was talking about the side where the poll is on. Trials and Tribulations is not on the list. Well, feel free to add it, man. And if people vote for it, that's gonna be the next game I play. That's just how I roll. Just gotta choose other, fill it in, and I'll add it after the stream as a legit option for people to choose. So we got that. Got his testimony. Detective Gumshoe was in hall on guard duty. Other than gunshot, didn't hear a sign of a struggle. Handgun found in Faraday's hand. Bullet that killed Bell was fired from a few yards away. Two characters in Edgeworth 2 won't make sense to you as they're from... Oh, I see. Well, maybe they won't make sense to me now, Mario, but I'm sure I'll be happy to see them on TNT. But oh well, you know, I did what I could. I googled, it seemed it was safe. Had I known, I probably would have played Trials and Tribulations first, but I'm having fun with this game so far. I believe Faraday brought this as evidence. It was found in Rell's hand. Crime scene notes pertaining to Byrne Faraday and Mackrell. Death, approximately 4 p.m. after a gunshot. Faraday died of a knife stab to the chest. Rell died of a bullet wound to the chest. There's no gunpowder burn on his clothes, suggesting he was shot from a few yards away. And we got this picture right here. Faraday's fountain pen. Fountain pen used by the... Couldn't they just like lower... You can see they didn't use any fucking spacing on the title, Mr. Faraday's fountain pen. Could have just like used a smaller font. Fountain pen used by the left-handed Faraday. Looks like it was a quality nib. Can't actually... Doesn't seem like there's anything... Oh, maybe just the cap. Maybe it comes off easily or something? It seems Mr. Faraday was in the habit of using very nice fountain pens.
That's the total opposite of me. I don't get these things at all.
Huh. Well, I think the pencil behind your ear suits you just fine.
Really? You think so, pal? Man, I knew it was worth something.
That wasn't exactly a compliment, detective. Anything about this? The tip? This looks like a quality nib.
Hey, let me test it out, pal. Ooh, this is really... Ah! I got ink all over my hand.
Detective Gumshoe, don't ever play with the evidence like that again. Okay, so I guess we're done here. Alright. Anything else? Plastic bag. One of the plastic bags strewn on the floor has Faraday's blood on it. Let's check it out. Logic, you'll be fine. You've just got to ride out the wave. You're peaking. You're gonna crash soon. It's all gonna be fine. Just believe that it's all gonna be fine. This blood here is from Mr. Faraday. There are no other clues to be found. Which begs the question, do I need to put this bag inside another bag in order to preserve it as evidence? I think you do. Let's see, is it ziplocked or something? Well, it seems like there's nothing to really check out, so... They refer to something that happening again in Edgeworth 2. It happened first in TNT. Well, I'm definitely gonna play. In that case, I'm definitely gonna play Trials and Tribulations before Edgeworth 2. In any case, that's guaranteed. I think that's all the evidence, right? Right. Okay. So this conflicts with the pen, I believe. Eureka! Now we come face to face with the contradiction I spoke of, and it is this. Mr. Faraday used his left hand to write with his fountain pen. Ergo, he is left-handed. And yet, the handgun is in his right hand. Don't you find it odd that the left-handed Mr. Faraday would hold the gun in his right hand? Oh, hey, prostate. Long time, buddy. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a great contradiction haunting this crime scene.
Hey, you're right, pal. That does seem kind of strange. But how could something like that happen?
The facts add up to one conclusion, one alone. Are you a lefty too, Mario? That's why you're sad? Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after he died.
Someone else?
Plastic bags scattered on the floor, and a gun in the wrong hand. I sense the presence of a shadowy figure behind this case. A person of vile intent who is serious about keeping the truth from us. Complete. Here is the autopsy report. Was that whenever someone is left-handed in fiction, it's always because they're dead? It contradicts evidence. You're absolutely right. Or yeah, you're right. They can never just be left-handed. It's always like some sort of plot point. Either because they're dead and it's a contradiction, or like there's something, yeah, that there's something that's supposed to differentiate them. You're right. Oh, Scribble's here. Nice to see you, Scribble.
It is probable that Mr. Rell survived for a short time after he was shot. Why is there a true crime chime? That's Law and Order, Claude. And it's just me fucking with you. However, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously from his stabbing. Interesting. I'm doing okay, Scribble. Glad to be back streaming. It looks like we now have everything we need to know about this case. Either right-handed or ambidextrous. Yeah, you're right. Luigi? Really? I did not know that. But that's, again, that's like a plot point as him, as an to offset Mario, probably. Because Mario's probably right-handed, so that's... And he's fat, he's thin, he's short, he's tall. Stuff like that. So, yeah, you know, a character can never, like, just be left-handed. That's just like a trivia fact. Are you sure we know everything? Of course! The incident began with Mr. Faraday attempting to get his revenge. The prosecutor went into a rage from being accused and tried to kill the defendant. But the defendant fought back and they ended up killing each other. It's all very clear and simple. There is absolutely no margin for doubt. Do you really believe that to be the truth? Ha! Are you saying that just because I figured out it was before you, that you don't want to believe it's true? It's alright. If you disagree with my argument, then prove me wrong. Well, if there are any contradictions to be found, that is. Who's the German? That's Franziska von Karma, Claudric. She's the daughter of our mentor, and kind of a bitch, and our competition, basically. Don't worry, I will. What happened? Herr Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Herr Rell survived for a short time. From this, it is obvious that Herr Faraday died after he shot Herr Rell. And Herr Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Herr Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, therefore he must have attacked first. Proving that logic to be false is probably the fastest way to show her that she's wrong. In that case, I should first look for any holes in her theory. Well, as usual, we're going to start by pressing everything. It's always a good idea. Hold it! Do you truly believe that Mr. Faraday died instantaneously? I have the murder report right here. Herr Faraday died instantaneously of shock due to being stabbed in the chest. There, you see? It's been documented, clear as day. Oh. Hold it! Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Bell before he died. Do you have any basis for that statement? Your foolishness has no end, does it? Now, I hate to repeat myself, however, Herr Faraday died instantaneously. That is all the basis I need. Alright, so if Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, then he must have attacked Mr. Bell before being stabbed. You're finally beginning to catch on, I see. No holes so far? Damn. Hold it! So you believe that the dying Mr. Rell stole the knife from Mr. Faraday? Herr Rell became desperate as he did not want to die.
Human beings can do amazing things when they are put to the test. So, the two men struggled, and in the end, Herr Rell was able to grab the knife and stab Herr Faraday. The messy condition of this room is a testament to their struggle. Yeah, but the room isn't that messy, that's the thing. That's maybe what it can contradict. Yeah, my logic is perfectly sound.
Can you really say that it's perfect?
What are you insinuating?
Nothing. However, I can't let what you said slide by without further inquiry. One must be clear and precise. So if you could append that statement to your testimony.
Fine. They struggled, and Herr Rell used the last of his strength to counterattack Herr Faraday. There we go, the struggle is what we need. So let's press this one too.
About this statement.
Whoops. Herr Rell used all of his remaining strength to take the knife and defend himself. One can easily see that they had a violent struggle. Of course, it's nothing compared to what my riding crop can do.
How does one compare the damage her crop can do with the state of this room?
Furthermore, all the plastic bags on the floor in this room were scattered there due to the fight. Is there anything else that I can explain for you?
No, that will be fine.
Okay, so they struggled. Let's see what we got that might be able to. I think it's only the bag, right? Because I don't have anything about. I think it's got to be the bag. Let's try it. Objection! Francisca. Oh shit, wasn't it?
I advise you to take a look at this piece of evidence.
And what are you trying to say with this?
I'm just...
Doesn't contradict my testimony. Ugh. Shit. Where's Edgeworth? Just face it. I'm going to win our little competition.
I have to calm down and do a better job of finding a flaw in her logic.
Well, it has to be the one that... It has to be about the struggle. Let me just, like, re-look at stuff. Oh, he didn't hear anything. Okay, this must be it. He didn't hear a sign of a struggle, so how come... Okay, I think that's it. Really should remember to look at the evidence before presenting it. Objection!
If the two men were fighting, the struggle would have surely caused quite a bit of noise. However, Detective Gumshoe testified that he heard absolutely nothing.
Ha! You place too much faith in that detective's testimony, you know. But for the sake of the argument, let's say there wasn't a fight. How, then, did Mr. Rell get his hands on the knife?
Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right here in lobby number 2.
Well, then, don't they think that maybe, like, the guy grabbed the knife, ran to attack Mr. Faraday, Mr. Faraday shot in self-defense, but then the guy still survived for a bit more and stabbed him, or even, like, just lurched forward and stabbed him in the chest.
Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right here in lobby number 2. It is not hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. Rell saw a chance and took it out at some point.
So, what you're saying is this. Herr Rell took in a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knife from the bag. Hold on, it's some water. And then, Herr Faraday shot Herr Rell after being stabbed.
Isn't there something strange in Francisca's statement just now?
Yeah, of course something is off. They won't ask us otherwise. Also, yeah, it's the fact that he attacked him first.
Wait, something doesn't add up.
Oh, really?
It's simply not possible for Mr. Faraday to have shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed. Mr. Faraday to have shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed. Why not? That's a testimony. I don't have any evidence that says that they were... no. That he died instantly. Or does it? Let's look at this. Yeah, Suika, this is a flashback. This case happens 10 years in the past, so everyone is younger. Francisca is like... actually, Francisca should be 9, shouldn't she? So yeah, she's younger, everybody's younger. Gumshoe's younger, Edgy's younger. Anyhow, a gunshot was fired. Friday died of a knife stab to the chest, a shock from stabbing caused instantaneous death. There we go, and that's why he couldn't have. So he couldn't have shot him after because he died instantly somehow. But whatever.
Take that!
Take that! According to the coroner's report, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, meaning that he died immediately upon being stabbed by the knife. Ergo, he could not possibly have fired the gun after that. Ooh, you got me. But of course. Well then, if the report is correct, then there is only one correct explanation. EA pushed TF2 out right around for warfare. I see. If we suppose that Herr Rell attacked first, then Herr Faraday, who died instantaneously, would have been unable to kill Herr Rell. Therefore, Herr Rell must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot. They then both died. That is the only explanation that makes logical sense. Negating your opponent's ideas in order to prove your own theory. I see you've been studying, Francisca. I just wanted to explain it to you as simply as possible. Before you foolishly propose a foolish theory that only a foolish fool like you could. How naive of you to believe that only your opinions are valid, and still expect to discover the truth that the crime scene offers you. Francisca, you've still got a ways to go.
What are you talking about? Are you saying there is a flaw in my logic?
Mr. Faraday died instantly. The fact that he did is what gives rise to the contradiction in this scene. The contradiction here in this crime scene is the order of events, the order the bodies fell. I think the order of events, because I think yeah, that has to be it. He was shot first. He was shot first and then stabbed. That has to be the way it happened. So I think if I understand this right, the contradiction is with the order. Actually, how did the bodies fall? Maybe that's also a contradiction. Okay, so the guy who was shot fell down first. Actually, no, it doesn't necessarily. Could have stabbed him and fell down, and then he could have fallen on top of him. Well, I'm not sure. It could be the way they fell too, but he did actually shoot him first, so maybe it's not. I'm not sure. It's definitely not the evidence bag's location. Or is it? Oh, okay, now I'm really confused. Let's just try this. There's a contradiction in the order you say the crime took place in.
Objection!
Or, in that case, why don't you prove the contradiction already? Miles Edgeworth, remember that we von Karmas must strive to be perfect in every way. They're just having some kinky sex.
That could work, I suppose. Some people don't do that shit. Oh! Shit. That kind of half-baked answer can hardly be called perfect. Now can it? Maybe I should have given a more detailed explanation. Let's see. Mr. Faraday died instantaneously. And the fact that he did is what gives... Oh, so it has to be the order of the bodies. It's the fact that he died instantly that's the order of the bodies, because if he died instantly, we would think that he would be on the bottom. But apparently he was atop. Let me get this straight. What you are arguing is this. Also, if this game had like a journal option where I could just read like the past couple of sentences, it would have saved me a lot of HP. Mr. Faraday took the gun from his evidence bag and shot Mr. Rell. Then, the wounded Mr. Rell found an opportunity to take the knife and strike back. What if he was moved? Well, that's what we think, Clodric. Well, no, he could have moved. He could have been moved. But the thing is that we heard, like, we busted in as soon as we heard the gunshot. So we're assuming that the gunshot, it could be that the gunshot was just, like, shot out the window, too, or something. But it's just, I don't know, a lot of stuff. Dual Destinies added to the journal. Well, isn't Dual Destinies, like, the 5th game or something? But oh well. Better late than never, I suppose. Upon being stabbed, Mr. Faraday died on the spot, and Mr. Rell died thereafter. If that's the case, then how do you explain this? Take a good look at the order in which their bodies are piled.
9!
Mr. Faraday's body is lying on top of Mr. Rell's. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have died before Mr. Faraday.
Impossible!
Yes, I agree that it seems strange no matter what angle you approach it from. Which means that the real mystery behind... Oh. 9. Not so fast, Miles Edgeworth. What now? I simply think that you ought to think a bit more outside the box. And that it's even clearer now that the incident started with Herr Faraday's murderous intent. She sure bounced back quickly. An explanation won't be enough this time. It's going to take some very decisive evidence to prove her wrong. It was just chance that Herr Faraday's body fell on top of Herr Rell's. The two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time. It really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in the opposite order. Okay. I just know that Franziska's explanation isn't absolutely correct. All I have to do is find a hole in her logic. Once I do, I can then present her with the evidence that proves the contradiction. Okay, so let's press everything, as is tradition. Hold it!
Objection!
Whoa, what? Pressing someone's testimony in order to gain some time to think. You're a real one-trick pony, aren't you? It's too bad your trick only works on fools. That wasn't my intent! I simply wish for more details as to how Mr. Faraday ended up on top of Mr. Rell. Someone's impatient. I was just about to explain everything to you. So do you think you could hold on for a minute? Oh. Franziska, I'll make you a deal. I'll hold on if you hold on to that whip of yours. Oh, I'll hold on to it, alright. As I whip you! Oh. Well, now that you've quieted down a bit, I'd like to continue if you don't mind. Yeah, I'll press some more. Fuck you. The two fell on top of each other. Don't you find that to be just a bit strange? Not at all. Ah! I can see it in her eyes. She's dead set against me from the bottom of her heart. Miles Edgeworth. Once I'm done here, you'll see that there's nothing strange at all. Now then, the two men fell into a pile. Trying to get that they attack each other at the same time. Oh, that's what she thinks. Well, that's definitely not true. Oh, and we know how. Actually, well, I'll press this, but I think I already have the evidence to disprove this.
Hold it!
What do you mean by they attacked each other at the same time?
Game like this set in ancient Greece. What, like with with philosophers objecting and like showing stuff to people, just showing stuff to each other. That would be funny. I assume Herr Faraday had the two different weapons in his hands. He made to attack Herr Rell while holding both the knife and the revolver, and then after Herr Faraday fired the gun. Well, Palma, can't you technically? There's the Phoenix Wright online or something, right? Where you can make your own cases. So you can sort of build one of your own if you really wanted to. After Herr Faraday fired the gun, Herr Rell grabbed the knife as he was falling and stabbed Herr Faraday. Wow, that is far-fetched. That is how Herr Rell wound up on the bottom with Herr Faraday on top. At close range, that is more than possible. Yes, it's possible, but... Well, if you have any other ideas, then show me what you've got! Oh, I will. And to that extent, I'd like for you to append what you just said to your testimony. I don't see any point in that, but as you please. They attack each other at the same time from close range, and I got just the thing for that. It says right here, if I remember right, no gunpowder burn on his clothes, suggesting he was shot from a few yards away. So he couldn't have snatched the knife from his hand if they were standing at point blank range. Objection!
So you believe they killed each other at close range? Sorry, but that's impossible. Just as it is written in the crime scene notes. The firing of the handgun did not leave gunpowder burn on Mr. Rell's clothes.
Why isn't there a Mr. Sir with the first name Lou? Isn't there one? That sounds so right for them, for the Ace Attorney series. If there isn't one until now, there probably will be one at some point. Lou Sir.
Therefore, Mr. Rell and the gun must have been separated by a distance of at least 2 or 3 yards.
Ah!
Yes, this is by far the biggest contradiction. The two bodies are piled up on each other, yet the gun was fired from a distance. And with there being no chance that Mr. Rell moved that far after being shot. That leaves only one possible explanation.
That was a completely foolish line of foolish thought from a thoroughly foolish fool!
If I'm not right, then who was it that made the first move with the intent to kill, huh? Who? The person that attacked first with murderous intent, that would be...
Well, either neither man, but I think it was probably Mr. Rell. I think Mr. Rell took out a knife, came out to attack Mr. Faraday. Mr. Faraday shot him in self-defense, but then Mr. Rell either lurched forward and stabbed him, or like kept moving forward and then stabbed him. That works with the logic right now. It's just that my logic doesn't always work with the game's logic. So let's see.
Mr. Rell, of course. You know?
Your foolishly foolish, foolhardy idea is making you feel just as foolish as you!
The murder weapons used in this case were taken straight from Herr Faraday's bag.
The fact that Herr Faraday had items that could be used to kill in his possession
is something Herr Rell wouldn't have known. Yeah, oh shit, I was wrong? How could he not? Well, he could have just looked in the bag, I suppose. But I guess I'm wrong. So neither of them. So it was a setup. Someone else killed them.
She's right, of course. Mr. Bell wouldn't have known what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag.
Oh,
I have to rethink this carefully.
the person that attacked first with murderous intent.
That would be
What Meatwagon said.
here in this room. Contradictions appear no matter which man we claim attacked first. Thus, there can only be one explanation. There was a third person here. Was that third person who killed both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Bell, and set their bodies up to make it look like a double murder?
That third person is the real culprit.
Where's Edgeworth? There's just finest thing you're missing. Evidence, correct?
Exactly. Everything you said up until now is nothing but a story played out in your head. Larry Butts.
However, this is where the real test begins.
Can you prove that there was a third person involved in this crime?
Of course. If a third person was truly here, that fact would resolve the glaring contradiction. The proof that this has all been a setup, made to look like they killed each other. I'll present it, and lay bare the final piece of the puzzle that's not yet in place. What is the piece of evidence that proves there is a third person involved?
Well, I don't know. Let's look around.
It could be the bag, actually, now that I think about it, but let's see.
No, this isn't relevant right now. Gumshoe didn't hear a thing. That doesn't help us. Found in Faraday's hand. Bullet was. Well, maybe the handgun. Because again, it's obvious that he didn't. That someone had to put it in his right hand. It makes no sense that it would be any other way. So it could be either this. It's found in Rel's hand. That doesn't help me. Let's look at the details here again. Immediately after gunshot was heard. Died of stabbing on the chest. Shock from the stabbing caused instantaneous death. Well, died of a bullet wound to the chest. There's no gunpowder burn. It's possibly was alive for a little while after being shot. Okay, so that doesn't really help me here. It doesn't prove there was a third person. The fountain pen doesn't really help me either. One of the bags strewn on the floor of lobby number 2 has Faraday's blood on it. I think it's this. I think it's a plastic bag. I mean, it could also be the gun. It's either the gun or the plastic bag, but I feel like the plastic bag would work better here. Because just the fact there's some blood, actually no, because there are no prints on it either, right? So I'm gonna try the gun first, and if that doesn't work, I'm gonna try the bag. Because if someone else was here, then shouldn't there be fingerprints on the bag? Or maybe not, but that's the case for either of them. I don't know. I'm gonna try the gun. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, because I'm not sure if the game's gonna understand what I'm aiming at. But let's see. Take that!
The gun in Mr. Faraday's hand, and the plastic bag with his blood on it.
Oh, so I was right either way, apparently.
These two items point to the presence of a third person.
How so?
Recall Detective Gumshoe's testimony.
I was in the hallway the whole time, but didn't hear a single peep of a struggle.
If there wasn't a struggle in this room, then there shouldn't be any plastic bags on the ground.
Meaning that someone else must have deliberately scattered them around.
Do you not see the possibility in this? Disregarding the gun for the moment, there's a high probability of blood splatter when a knife is used on a person. If the culprit held the knife with a plastic bag around it, They could use the bag to catch any blood splatter from when they withdrew the knife. Then, by spreading a few more plastic bags around, mixing the bloody one in with them, and arranging the room to make it look like there was a struggle between the two, they were able to conceal their presence. Ah!
Looks like we've still got a long way to go in this investigation.
Yes.
Objection!
Who's objecting? What? Oh, it's the judge and our Latina.
What the heck's up with you, pal?
Aye, Senor Bad. I advise you to place Detective Gumshoe under arrest.
Wait, hold on. Her name is you? And the victim here is also CCU, and yeah, they do look alike. But isn't she a prosecutor or something? She's something alright. So I guess maybe the victim was her sister or something? Well, that kind of makes her a suspect here, doesn't it?
Senor Bad, I advise you to place Detective Gumshoe under arrest.
What?
What's the meaning of this?
Ha! Looks like you're not man enough to discipline your own subordinates.
Don't you dare!
That detective claims he was there, standing in front of the door the entire time. But I have on good authority that it was all a giant lie.
Monsieur, I ask that you please explain that last statement.
I'll let his honor explain it himself.
I just saw it with my own eyes, I tell you.
Oh, she's a defense attorney, that's right. Thanks, Mario.
During the recess, there was a period of time when there was no one in the hallway.
What?
See, Senor Bad? So I ask you, why would a detective who was supposedly doing his job the whole time want to fabricate such a lie?
Yeah, Faraday was a prosecutor, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Gumshoe, did you kill Faraday? No! Of course not, sir!
It would appear that the one who set this whole crime scene up is that detective. Which basically renders his testimony a complete lie and wholly invalid. It looks like your perfect logic has just come tumbling down, Miles.
I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle.
Was that statement really a lie?
Detective Gumshoe, you're now a suspect in the murder of 2 men. Now, spit out the truth, or so help me.
I haven't lied to anyone, sir. Honest. I really was there. I was in the hallway the whole time.
Hold it!
Who's holding it?
Detective Bad, I ask that you please do not act without my permission. After all, I am the one that is heading up this investigation, am I not?
Don't talk like you know what's going on, Chico.
All I want is for this investigation to run perfectly.
Perfection is the only wish of a disciple of Von Karma, after all.
Therefore, before you take Detective Gumshoe into custody, I'd like to set the record straight on something.
And what is that?
Should I ask Detective Gumshoe about...
State of the hallway, maybe? If I can ask everything, I'll do. Why is no one English? What do you mean no one English? Edgeworth is English. That's a British accent I gave him. Or do you mean American, like just regular... Like, why doesn't anyone speak just regular American English? I'm gonna start with this. Because I'm not sure how many chances I get.
Detective Gumshoe, I take it that no one else was in that hallway at any time, correct?
Huh?
Fuck Americans, though? I don't know, Mario, because, well... Mario and the original... When I played the original two Phoenix Wright games, my regular voice was Wright's voice. Because I knew it would be hard for me to do a different voice. I knew he would have the most dialogue, and I knew it would be harder for me to do like so much dialogue in a different voice. So that was the case. But now that's spin-off and just with Edgeworth, then Edgeworth, who was a side character back then, had a British accent. Now he's the main character, and that's why. And yeah, Gumshoe doesn't have an accent. He's just like a gruff American. And again, I keep saying it, people can choose whichever voices they want, or suggest whichever the voices they want for whichever characters. If people want me to, I can do I can try and do like, I don't know, a Texan accent? Oh, I also gave, what's her name? There was the, not Chinese, but you know what I'm talking about, the Agent Lang. Agent Lang's assistant had kind of, might have not heard her, but I gave her kind of a New York accent. You don't need to do accents to different voices. That's true, but it just helps me because, you know, I'm not an actual voice actor or anything. I just try to do my best here. So different accents kind of help me bring out different, like it helps differentiate. Also, when it's girls, when there are girls, I usually do Sheena, exactly. When there are girls, I usually just give them, like at the beginning, I give them just a higher pitched voice, and and with like just no accent, just a higher pitched voice. But because this is the third case, I think, yeah, third case already, I already used those voices on other characters, then I gotta mix things up a bit. But again, it's all for you guys. If you guys want me to drop the accents, I got no problem with that.
Huh? Oh, of course not, pal.
You're being awfully defensive. Might you be hiding something from me?
Watch your mouth, pal. You can't go around saying stuff like that about me without any evidence.
I suppose you're right. I have no evidence at this point. Miles Edgeworth, how can you be losing a battle of wits with this detective? You're a disgrace. Maybe I should ask about something else.
Oh, well, I didn't know. Well, why he wasn't in the hallway, I suppose.
Detective Gumshoe, why were you missing from the hallway for a span of time?
Look, pal, like I said, I was there the whole time, okay?
But there is testimony.
Miles Edgeworth, why are you wasting our time? It's a completely useless question.
The only logical reason as to why he was absent is that he was busy committing the crime. Anyone who says otherwise
is a fool.
Maybe I should ask about something.
Really? What, the motive? But he's gonna fucking Francisca. I don't understand this, but whatever.
I suppose the one thing I'd like clarified is Detective Gumshoe's motive for committing this crime.
Motive, huh? Gumshoe, are you got a grudge against Faraday for anything?
No, sir. Not me. Not a single bad thing against Mr. Faraday, sir.
Is that a fact?
You really have a problem with lying, don't you, Detective Gumshoe?
I'm telling you, I am not lying!
The more unnatural you act, the more suspicious you become, you know.
If you want a motive, Edgeworth, I have one for you right here.
A deeper, less gruff Gumshoe fits bad. Okay, kind of like a noir detective. And yeah, I think you is my prime suspect right now too, Meatwagon. I can try that.
Could you please share it with us? However, be forewarned that I won't hesitate to object to flights of fancy. Because all I'm interested is the perfect explanation. Oh, you're serious, aren't you? Fine.
Yeah, he does look like a noir detective.
You amuse me, so I'll humor you with a little courtroom practice.
Okay, I'll give that a shot, Mario.
It was about a week ago. I saw the detective get chewed out by a livid Faraday in front of the precinct. He stood there super pale as Senor Faraday yelled, "That's a salary cut for you, you nitwit." A brand new detective suddenly getting a salary cut. That's the reason enough for the grudge. Well, how's that for the perfect explanation?
You totally misunderstand me, pal. No matter how mad I get, I could never hold a grudge.
Quiet. Why can't we trust? We can't trust anything you say. I'm gonna try and refine it, Mario. But if you got suggestions, keep them coming.
Sir,
There's nothing wrong with the motive she proposed per se. But there are some gaps in her logic that need to be filled in. Miss Yu's perfect explanation may not be so perfect at all. Okay. As is tradition. A week ago. Well, yeah, he said he's been a detective for 2 weeks, I think. Gumshoe. Then you, Detective Gumshoe, our acquaintance says.
Aye, no way. I only met him in person today.
Then how did you know about Detective Gumshoe?
Oh, I've seen him around before.
Okay. Mr. Faraday was upset. Like the bitch he is. Yeah, I try, meat.
I see. You know what else? Senor Faraday isn't exactly known to get angry often. But there he was, totally beat red in the face. Ahem. And the offending detective just stood there, pale as a ghost, like he was about to die.
Just like the face he's making now, right?
I'm completely innocent, I tell you.
That's a really weird noise to do so much. Why is she wearing man clothes too? Probably because she wants people to take her seriously. And that's just the kind of sexist, misogynistic world we live in today, Wada. The poor man.
Ahem. It was quite the scene with the detective.
Hold it! He just stood there, watching this unfold in front of you.
I see. I have to say it was really enjoyable too.
I don't know, Mario, she just seemed a bit Latina to me. But again, we can change it, like, we can do silly voices too. Like, what was it, someone recommended, I don't remember who it was, but someone wanted the flight attendant to have, like, a voice like she was a heavy smoker and had to use one of those, vibrating throat thingies. So I did that. We can go either way. We can change it, mix it up. It's all good.
But that's why I saw Detective Gumshoe earlier. I knew to steer clear. Oh, that's why when I saw Detective Gumshoe earlier, I knew to steer clear of him.
Yeah, she does look like the Taco Bell dog. You're right, Meatwagon.
No way. I thought it was because I had something stuck on my face.
Hey, but you do.
Huh? What if I got stuck to my face?
Let's start with your eyes, nose, mouth. Oh, and those ridiculous eyebrows.
Huh?
I like I like that he's trying to look at his eyebrows right now. Look at that. He's trying to like see if his eyebrows look ridiculous or not.
Oh man, messing with your head is just too much fun.
Miss Yu, if you don't mind, I'd like to return to your testimony now.
Sure, why not?
Hold it! To get a new detective's salary right off the bat like that.
I'm not really familiar with the way you guys relate, but is that a common practice?
Speaking of cutting my salary, didn't you threaten to do that to me earlier too?
I suppose I did.
It's only natural to cut a worthless detective's salary down to their actual worth. Meine father can even fire anyone, you or old, with a snap of his fingers.
Do you think maybe that's reason enough for detectives to hate you people?
Well, I guess they really shouldn't cut people's pay.
How's that, Mario?
Detective Bad, don't tell me, Mr. Von Kalmar cut your salary earlier.
Do they have minimum wage in Japan? Something tells me that they don't. Even though this game is supposedly set in the US, I think. Wada.
Hold it! You call your explanation perfect?
Is it not to your liking?
It's a bit quiet. Okay, I'll try and improve on that.
Unfortunately for you, it's just not up to my standards.
It's set in LA. Oh, but in the Japanese version, it's in Japan. I didn't know that. I thought it was always in the US. Huh.
Oh, is there something you want me to clarify in that case?
What should I do? Should I raise an objection?
Yeah, well, I didn't really notice. I was too busy thinking about accents and voices, but I know I should always raise an objection.
Alright, if you could clear this one thing up for me.
Mr. Faraday was killed, motive for killing Mr. Bell. Well, we know the relation, how he was killed. And we know that supposedly too, with a knife, it works perfectly. So motive for killing Mr. Bell, why didn't he kill them by himself? I can think of an explanation for that, but maybe it'll expose something.
I understand Detective Gumshoe's potential motive for killing Mr. Faraday. However, what about his motive for killing Mr. Bell?
His motive for killing Rel? Like I would know.
If there was no clear motive for both of the murders, then I doubt this incident would have occurred. Wouldn't you agree? Is there anyone else who might have a grudge against either of the two men? Or should we look into that ourselves?
Oh, in that case, I have absolutely no idea.
What? But that's impossible! She must know something!
Wait! Can you please not glare at me like that? It makes me laugh.
I didn't even do anything and you're already laughing away.
I'll make you stop laughing.
Well, anyway, the way I see it, as long as he had a motive to kill one of the two, this crime would have played out the way it did anyway.
Oh? Would you care to explain your logic? And this time, please try to provide a truly perfect explanation.
Oh shit, you're right, Mario. Those are earrings. I thought that it was like something on her hair. Like something that she keeps her hair together, but no. Damn, those do look pretty fucking heavy.
Perfect this, perfect that. Stop being so uptight, or is that a requisite for being a von Karma?
Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you shut this old woman up! I wish you'd both be quiet for just 1 second. Your levels are gonna be as long as those guys from the third case. Third case? Oh, this is the fourth case, right. Yeah, like Mr. Amano's. You're right, I was wondering about that. Maybe she is Mr. Amano. Maybe she does a sex change and impersonates him. I think we're onto something here, guys.
Ahem. Oh well, I guess I'll just have to explain it to you kids. There's no one out there with a motive to kill both Senior Faraday and Senor L. All you really have to establish is that someone had a grudge against one of the two men. Senor L, who happened to be there, became a witness to Senor Faraday's murder. Therefore, he was killed out of necessity and set up to look like they had killed each other.
I wonder if that's really true. Is there no one out there with a grudge against both men? I should take another hard look at the evidence for this morning's case. The second KG8 incident, as people are calling it, involves an embassy staff member, and the two men who both wound up as suspects in the case. There's someone else I'm overlooking who is somehow related to them. Yes, you are. She's standing right in front of you. Well, we'll start with this, because obviously there is. Hold it! So there is no one else who might have a grudge against both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Bell.
I suppose no one is a bit of a stretch, but I'm pretty sure no one like that was here in this courthouse today.
She's lying through her teeth. We just saw someone like that here earlier.
Besides, you don't need to prove that the killer had a grudge against both men.
Yeah. Grudge against one of them. I don't think I even need to, like, press everything. I would be there, became a witness. Yeah, I think I can press this right on her. Objection! Monsieur, I believe there is someone you overlooked in making your statement. Or rather, it's because you'd rather not bring this person up.
What do you mean?
We are looking for someone with a reason to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Bell. I can think of at least one person that fits the bill. He was the suspect in the original KG8 incident, and a member of the Cordopian embassy staff, Mr. Manny Cochin. Oh, shit, not her, because, like, the victim was her relative, obviously. How did anyone even let her be a defense attorney on this case? Don't they notice that they have the same last name? That's right, the very man who came to visit you earlier, out in the hallway. The man who killed a member of the Cordopian embassy staff, Mr. Bell, and the man who was the lead prosecutor of the KG8 incident, Mr. Faraday. Oh, hey Nex, how you doing, man? Are you telling me that Mr. Cochin has no reason at all to kill both of these men?
Well, I suppose he might have a reason or two.
Well, not automatically, Mario, but it certainly, like, raises something. It's not like it's it's not like it's like they're both called Smith. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not like they're both called Smiths. Yu is kind of a weird last name, I'd say. Crazy Day plus Gem. Well, time to relax with some video games, right? Next.
You cover for me, pal.
You've lost. Oh, you're trying to lose weight, not to gain. Okay, wow, damn. Good job, man. Keep going at it.
Maybe you're not such a bad guy after all.
Don't get ahead of yourself. You're still a suspect, make no mistake about that. Lose fat, gain muscle, I see. I gotta do one then the other, right? The perfect evidence, the perfect testimony. These are the only things I wish to hold.
But I didn't do it!
You will stay under my authority and go investigate Mr. Manny Cochin for me. And remember, I will not be very forgiving should...
You want to investigate Cochin? You'd just be wasting your time.
And why is that?
Cochin was up in the viewing gallery, watching the trial. Or so I was told. Every cop in this place has been keeping an eye on the guy since he arrived.
Then the only real suspect we have is still Detective Gumshoe. I suppose so.
No way! Come on, Detective Bat!
Wait, hold on. I want to check something. Oh, we don't have a map of the area yet. Only when we go out of dialogue. I still think there was like there's a room connected to this, the other defendant's lobby. I'm pretty sure a person. I'm sure that if we investigate, we can find a way for a person to move between the rooms that doesn't include the hallway. So if I don't know if Cochin was there, maybe I don't know. Gaining muscle helps lose fat, and losing fat helps gain muscle. So it's yeah, of course, it's one along with the other. Also, hi Woopar, how are you doing, man? How'd you like my German accent?
No way! Come on, Detective Bat! You gotta believe me, sir! I really was in that hallway the whole time, sir! I never took a single step into this room, sir! Okay. Then are you saying there was someone else who passed through the hallway? No! There was no one else, sir! Then why should I believe you did? Then why should I believe you didn't do it?
That is one incredibly foolish detective. Standing right in front of a crime scene, all by himself. It's as good as a confession of guilt. I have to admit, it's a bit strange. Whispering with yeah, well, it's that I'm trying to do like a mysterious voice, and a mysterious voice I associate with whispering for some reason. I'll try to do it louder, Mario. Most criminals will fabricate some sort of lie to escape their crimes. And if that detective really wanted to prove that he is innocent, you'd think he would at the very least offer up I spaced out while on duty or the like.
Come on, Gumshoe. Time for your interrogation. Detective Bad!
Miles Edgeworth, I will go on ahead and report this to Papa.
And that, as they say, is that. Right, everyone? Ho ho ho!
Well, I suppose we should both be getting back to our real jobs now, huh?
Before we do, monsieur, there is something I'd like to speak with you about.
Aye, what is it?
Okay, let's see. Defendant lobby number 1. I'm sure there's some sort of secret door, something behind probably something behind the television. And that's how they did it. They went to the other lobby and went in there. Okay, so that's all the time I have for tonight. 2 hours is my time. So I'm gonna be going right now. Thank you everybody for watching. I'm really glad you could join me today. I had a great time. Hope you guys enjoyed it at least as much as I did. I'll be back tomorrow, same time as today. I suggest you guys check the schedule, especially this week, because with all the I forgot the phrase, but like time, what's the word? Time saving, time. Forgot the phrase in English, but like, you know, when you change the clock. Forgot the phrase. But because of that, there's a bit of a change in schedule. I do it at the same time, but other people do it. But it seems like it might seem different to you.
So check the schedule. Reminder, you can check the daylight savings. Thank you, Netflix. Because of daylight savings at different times in different countries, you might as well just check the schedule just to be sure it's right for you. And you can I'm reminding you guys, you can check the poll. I'll add trials to the list right now, Mario, and everybody can vote for that or any other game they please that I'll play next after this. I think right now Desert Bus isn't delayed. I'm probably going to do that for only one stream, but still. And if you enjoyed the stream, then feel free to follow me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, or Steam to watch my past broadcasts and get notifications when I start to stream, if there's a change in schedule. If there's a surprise stream, I'm going to try to do those as much as I can, and I think that's it. I think that's all I got to say. So, see you guys tomorrow, hopefully, and that's it. Marco.